Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I'm Ashley Sledge, and let's talk horror. So today I am going to do my review on Little Monsters from 1989. This is another nostalgic movie reminding me of my childhood, these darker gateway horror movies that made me the horror lover that I am today. It has all the greatness from the late 80s, early 90s that it's just a great era, a great time to be a kid. So let's talk about some of the positives. Some of the positives, very realistic family matters, in my opinion. Mom and dad, they're constantly arguing about real life things.
Have you by any chance seen a piece of sandpaper or a paintbrush around here the last few days? Huh?
And you can kind of hear them in the background, but then when the kids need them, when they're scared or anything, they kind of put all that aside and they become parents first. They even talk about splitting up at one point, and Brian, he gets, really upset about that, and he kind of walks away, where Eric, he gets more sad and is like, I'll do better, like it's his fault, and it's not. I feel like that's very relatable. Brian, he's constantly getting in trouble for leaving things out. And this particular time, he didn't do it. He left the food out. He left the bike in the driveway, and dad runs over his bike. And, dad's had it at this point. Like, stop leaving your stuff out. You need to take care of it. And he's telling the truth, but how many other times did he leave things out and say he didn't do it when he really did? So it's coming back to get him, I guess. The practical effects are really good. One of my favorites is when the lights turn on and Maurice just turns into the clothes. I thought that was done really well. It's all practical and it looks really good. They really push the lines between a fun childhood movie with these dark scenes sprinkled throughout. When Brian, he finds an overturned TV in the dark closet that's showing the climax of The Fly. That's a great little nod there. The end with the boy that has the human mask over his monster face. That's really creeped me out when you go behind and see how it's like attached to the back of his head. I thought he was super scary. Probably the thing that scared me the most was that boy. A close second is the hunchback monster with the large teeth. Just some of the things that he said and just how aggressive and mean, that really scared me as a kid. This movie, like I said, it's very early 90s in the fact that it steps out of the kiddie, humorous playfulness and gets dark and eerie, showing everyone has consequences for their actions. We have these young kids with foul mouths.
Piss! Who put piss in my apple juice?
And there's some adult humor sprinkled throughout. For the most part, the acting is really good. Howie Mandel, he's very energetic, and at times he can be a little over the top, a little obnoxious, but I look past that because he makes me laugh, and I feel like that's what his character needed, was to be over the top and be obnoxious, and so he pretty much nailed it. Fred Savage, also, he did really good, was relatable as a kid character. Again, he had his foul mouth, and he did really good as a kid character. The booby traps, that, like I said, that is so early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Us kids, we did booby traps, or that's what we watched, were all these different booby traps. And I love that. Also, the score, it's really creepy, yet there's like happiness in it. So it works out. It's like perfect. Like, you have these creepy scenes, but then you have this family aspect and you have happiness too. So the score, I feel like is amazing. It's a very good touch. And then the makeup effects, really good. All the monsters look so good. Like I said, they creep me out, and I love how they look. All right, guys, so let's get to the negatives. Some of the negatives, the set, especially when they go under the bed, looks bad. It's really dark, and I know it's supposed to be dark because they can't have sunlight or any kind of light, but it's super dark. The crap is just thrown everywhere. There's boxes everywhere. It's like they took this big room and just started throwing junk and trash everywhere. I guess that's a monster lair. I don't know. I feel like they could have done something better with that. Also, that magical spark that flies throughout does not look good. CGI, sparkle, whatever it is, doesn't look that great. The ending seems rushed and corny. They get out underneath the bum on Malibu Beach, and it's, they're calling their parents and we're in California, surprise. Feels very rushed, and it feels like they didn't know how to end it. Also, where were the parents the entire time? I wish they would have gone back and we would have gotten more of the parents' perspective of what was going on, because their kids are missing. That's really scary. So I feel like that would have connected more with the older generation, the parents that are watching this, to see that. Younger kid acting isn't the greatest in there, but I feel like you look past it because Ben Savage, he's so stinking cute, and he gets better. Boy Meets World. So you look past that. And I'm not a fan of the mean-spirited scenes, like trying to scare an infant baby. I get it, character development, but at the same time, it just seems so unnecessary. I don't know. Don't scare babies. And then the fade outs. There's a few different fade outs. I feel like fade outs are lazy writing. Just put something else in there. Add more to it. I don't know. Fade outs. I do not like fade outs. Also, why can't Maurice still visit Brian in our world? I get Brian can't go back down to the monster world, but it just seems like, we can never see each other again. That's one of the biggest questions for me, is why can't he come back up and still visit him at night? They can still have their little friendship. I don't know. I wish that they would have like expanded on that, and they could have still like hung out. You have this little monster that comes out from underneath your bed. He's my buddy. So guys, those are the negatives. I'm going to give you some of my final thoughts. My final thoughts. This movie is fun. It's nostalgic for us 90 kids. The humor for the most part still lands, and there are some scary aspects of this movie that really scared me as a kid and still kind of creeped me out as an adult. So out of 5 skulls, I'm going to give it a 3.5. There are some wonky acting areas, and some of the set designs aren't the greatest, but it's just this creative story about the monster that lives under your bed. It's a good time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this movie down in the comments, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to Sledgehammer Horror. It helps our channel out more than you know. And follow us on social media. All of our links are down in the description. And until next time, guys, keep talking horror, stay who you are, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.